Welcome to the NRL Punters Weekly Digest, your one-stop shop for everything you need to know leading into this week's NRL matches. This is our Round 4 Team Lists edition. On Thursday, April the 1st, we have the Sea Eagles taking on the Penrith Panthers from Lottoland Stadium. For the Sea Eagles, Morgan Boyle returns to the bench at the expense of Toa Fofoa Sipley. For the Panthers, Stephen Crichton shifts to fullback for Dylan Edwards, who is out with an injury. And Matt Burton, funnily enough, goes to the centres as Nathan Cleary makes his return to halfback. Will be interesting to see how Matt Burton is used in the centres, possibly as a second 5'8". My tip in this one is the Panthers by 30. On the Friday night, we have the Bulldogs, or I should say the Friday afternoon, given it's a Good Friday. We have the Bulldogs taking on the Rabbitohs from Stadium Australia. For the Bulldogs, Sione Katoa returns to the hooking spot for the injured Jeremy Marshall-King, and the Rabbitohs have made no changes to their side that won last week. My tip in this one is also the Rabbitohs by 30. From Amy Park at 8:05 p.m, the Storm take on the Broncos in what in previous seasons would have been seen as a top of the ladder clash, but not so much these days. But still a really, really exciting match, and one that we always look forward to watching, particularly as Queenslanders. For the Storm, Nicho Hynes returns to the reserves, which is a blow for him. He's a good player. I feel like he's in their best 17 each week, but what do I know? And Ryan Pappenhausen returns at fullback, which will be a huge boost for the Storm. Not that they're going to need it against the Broncos. For the Broncos, Payne Haas and Matt Lodge, massive boost. They return for the Broncos. They needed that one. And Tavita Pangai Jr. and Thomas Flegler moved to the bench alongside John Asiata, who has returned from a neck complaint. In that match, I'm seeing the Storm winning by 20 points. Cronulla take on the Cowboys from Sunshine Coast Stadium. I guess the Sharks is home away from home, and that's from 5:30 p.m. on the Saturday. For the Sharks, Mawene Hiroti replaces Sione Katoa on the wing. Teague Wilton steps in for the suspended Britton Nakora. And Wade Graham and Will Kennedy have both been named to play, but they still have to pass their concussion protocols before they get the green light. For the Cowboys, I'm sounding a bit Townsville there, got that twang going. For the Cowboys, Jake Clifford and Easton Masters have been dropped. Mitchell Dunn is sidelined through injury, so Hamilton Tabuai Fedo goes to the wing with Justin O'Neill moving into the centres, and he will partner Connolly Lemuelu. My tip in that game is the Sharks by 10. I'm giving Cowboys a bit of respect there, if you noticed. I could have said they're going to lose by 20, 30 points. I don't think it's going to be that much of a blowout, but they're still going to lose by a bit of a margin. All right. Titans, Raiders, Cbus Super Stadium. I think this is going to be one of the games of the round. This could go either way, and that's coming from a Raiders fan. Raiders should win this game, but the Titans, they're not red hot yet, but they're not far off. And for them, they have named an unnamed side, but they have had a forward rotation swap. Well, a starting forward rotation swap. So Tyrone Peachy moves into lock with Tino Fa'asua-Maliawi going to the front row as a prop. For the Raiders, Dynamis Louis and Hudson Young return, which will be a boost for them. Ryan Sutton shifts into the lock position. He was outstanding last week in a losing side. He ran for 200 plus meters. He always gives his most, Ryan Sutton, and he is very handy at lock. He's played there a little bit before. He's playing as an extra middle. He slots in for, obviously, Joe Tarpany, who's out for an extended period of time. And Sebastian Chris has been named to partner Jared Croker in the centres in place of Curtis Scott, who's obviously got those broken ribs. Another TBA injury in terms of time frames for a return. Raiders by 6 in this one. Confident in that tip. If they want it to be more, then I'm happy with that too. Sunday, Knights take on the Dragons from Chicken Nugget Stadium. For the Knights, Bradman Best is out with an injury. He is replaced by Gehamat Shibasaki. Stafford Toa slots in at wing. Star recruit Blake Green plays for the first time for the Knights, and he's coming from the bench. For the Dragons, Adam Clune replaces Ben Hunt, who's obviously injured at the moment, and Braden Williami replaces the suspended Jack Bird. My tip in this one is the Knights by 2. I think this is going to be another very intriguing match this round. Roosters Warriors from the SCG at 6:15 p.m. on the Sunday evening. This is a game that could be the upset of the round. I think the Warriors could legitimately win this one. And that's why I'm only tipping the Roosters by 1 point. Call me crazy. For the Roosters, Victor Radley returns from injury. Isaac Liu replaces Lindsay Collins, who's injured. Another casualty for the Roosters, a big casualty. Sam Walker makes his debut and he replaces Luke Keary at halfback, and he will partner Drew Hutchison in the halves. For the Warriors, I should also mention that old mate Joseph Suwali has been named in the number 20 jersey, so who knows, maybe he'll get a late call-up. Wouldn't that be exciting? For the Warriors, Marcelo Montoya steps in for Peter Heku, who's injured, and Jazz Tavanga starts from the bench. Our Easter Monday game comes to us from Stadium Australia, where everything's being played at Stadium Australia now, it seems. From Stadium Australia, we have the Tigers versus the Eels. That's a 4 p.m. game. That is the Battle of the West. That is a game that we always look forward to. I don't want to say a Westie. Am I allowed to say that? I don't know. I'm not a Westie, but if I was a Westie, I'm guessing I'd really be looking forward to this clash. I look forward to it too because it's a local derby of sorts. For the Tigers, they are unchanged from their win against the Knights last week. For the Eels, Ryan Madison returns, which forces Isaiah Papali'i to the bench. Mitch Moses has been named despite the head knock, but again, he's one of those players who's just waiting to pass concussion protocols so that he can be named to play. Well, he's named to be played, so he can be given the green light. My tip in this one is the Eels by 14. I think the Eels are just going to be way too good. And that's it for this week's episode of NRL Team Lists. Let me know your thoughts on some of these team lists. Are there players that you would have included, players that you would have omitted? What are your feelings? Would you like to see Joseph Suwali play? Are you excited to see Sam Walker play? Which NRL star will be the next to get injured? I'll take bets on that. No, I won't. All right, thank you for your time. Also, before you go, if you like the content, give me a like. Please subscribe. Tell your friends. If you've got footy fan friends, tell them I want to do this for as many people as I can. The more love you give me, the more I give back. Peace.